What's good, people? How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Man, today I'm going to show you guys what is going on with some autos, because a lot of people grow autos, but beginners, maybe you guys should not grow autos, because I want to look into a few reasons why I grew my autos as a beginner and they screwed me over. And you probably would run into the same mistakes if you're a beginner, have no experience, and want to grow the autos. So today's episode, why you should not grow autos if you're a friggin' beginner grower, man. Now, a lot of people see autoflowers and think, yeah, I'm gonna get a fast harvest, I can go from seed to harvest real easy, and I don't need to do much. And that is pretty much true, but there are a lot of things that growers do when they're growing autos that actually screw them over. And for a lot of people, they just do too much, man. You guys can see we got a lot of different nutrients and stuff out here. And a lot of times with autos, you don't need all these nutrients, man. So just be specific about what you're using. Whether it's organic inputs, whether it's recharge, whether it's fish shit, whether it's even the grow dots, man, because we all know grow dots works great as well. But you guys know that autos are not around for a long period of time, so you don't need a lot of nutrients, man. You don't need a lot. A lot of people overthink that when they're starting off, especially beginners, man, and they just do too much. And autos, they're not around for a long time, so they don't need all that nutrients. So take it easy with some of these nutrients, guys. Now, autos are super fast, guys. They literally go from seed to harvest super quick. But a lot of people actually run into issues because of that one very problem, man. Just because of their speed, and like I said, they're not around for that long, people try to do too much, man, and they just get shocked, they get stunned, and that's not something you want to do, because the veg stage for autoflowers is actually pretty short. I'm talking like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, sometimes you may even have a 2-weeker, sometimes you may have a 6-weeker, but it's all about the autos genetics, man. Some go for longer than others, but most of them don't veg for a whole long period of time. So don't do too much when you're training either, man. A lot of people are like beginners when they hear about LST and super cropping and filming and topping, and you try to do everything to your autoflower, but in reality, that's only shooting yourself in the foot, because your auto's now stunned, man. Like, a lot of the times autos don't take a lot of stress too well, so if you just hit them too much stuff all at once, they're gonna become stressed. And inherently, when you're training plants, they need a recovery period, man. So whether you're topping, you're low stress training, you're filming, you're super cropping, there's something called a recovery period, which is super important, man. And for example, if you're topping your plant, you cut off the top, it needs a couple of days, maybe a week or two, so that it can grow those new shoots out and it can recover. It can seal off the cut that you just made and it can recover. If you're doing low stress training, you're pulling branches down, the branches will need to redirect themselves up towards the light so that they can grow out. That's the only way that you'll get those increased bud size, man. So don't overdo it, man. With autos, less is more a lot of the time, and beginners often overlook that, man. So that's another reason why maybe if you're a beginner, stay away from the friggin' autoflowers, man, because you want to do a lot of stuff when you're a beginner to test your hand, to test out these different techniques, to test out different ways of learning and trying things out and improving your growth. But a lot of the times, if you test with autos, you're probably not going to have some good results, man. Testing stuff and autoflowers just don't work together. Hand in hand, nuh-uh. Testing, autoflowers, nuh-uh. Testing, photo periods, yeah. You can try a whole lot of stuff. You can test all sorts of techniques. But with autoflowers, not likely. Now, like I was saying, guys, autoflowers are great for a speedy harvest, but there is less time for recovery. So if you're a beginner grower, training, stuff like that may not be great. But also transplanting, little stuff like that. We all know as beginners, you always want to transplant up. I always talk about transplanting up, it builds that root ball. But with autoflowers, you just can't transplant up. A lot of the times people do transplant, they have good success, don't get me wrong, but it's not recommended. Simple stuff like transplanting can actually ruin your final product. All you want to do is plant in your final home. So if you got like a 5-gallon pot, plant in that. Don't plant in a small solar cup and then transplant up, especially with those autoflowers, guys, because that can lead you into trouble. And a lot of people also know that with autos, they want to try new stuff, right? And a lot of beginner growers want to try new techniques like cloning, keep their plants around. But autos, they can't be cloned. Technically, you can get an auto to root. You can get an auto cutting to root, but it will still be on the same time schedule, the same light cycle, the same the DNA, everything. It'll just be the same as the mother plant. So whenever the mother plant was going into harvest, going into flower rather, then your cutting will also go into flower. It's not like a photo period where you take a cutting and you can put that cutting into flower and keep the mother plant and veg. It just doesn't work that way, man. So definitely think about that if you're growing autos, man. And the great thing with autos, if you are growing autos for the first time, is that you don't have to worry about switching the light cycle or light pollution. Light pollution, light leaks, man, those things suck, bro. Trust me, I've had issues with light leaks before and it's not fun. But with autoflowers, you don't need to worry about that. You can have them in your veg room, you can have them anywhere, you can have them under a light in your kitchen, man, and it'll grow fine. It does not need a solid dark period, a solidified dark period, a solid dark period, a solidified dark period. You don't need that at all, man. So in that sense, you may be able to get away with a lot less liberties than you would with photoperiod plants. You don't have to have the sealed off dark period, flip the timers and all that stuff. But a lot of the times that lighting cost can be increased because you're running those autoflowers, man. Autos need a lot of light. They need like 18 hours of light a day for their entire life cycle. So if you're running on a budget, you're a beginner, probably autos, because of that extended light period, may run you a bit more in terms of electricity costs, which may not be ideal for you, man. So it's all about what works for you as a beginner. Personally, me, when I started off and I was growing outdoors, I had no indoor grow lights and I was growing autoflowers, man. And out in the Caribbean, you only get maybe 12 hours of light a day, less than 12 hours of light a day. Let's say 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that's pushing it a little bit. So I found myself in issues because I did not have the autos reaching their fullest potential because I just popped them outdoors, man. I popped them in a massive pot outdoors and I just left them. And that is another way the beginner growers run into issues. If you don't got everything set up, you don't got a grow space set up, you don't got a 4x4 tent or a 2x4 tent or any lights or carbon filters or any of that stuff, autos may not be ideal, simply because they are on that set time cycle, man. And for me, with the autos, when I was running them outdoors, they did not get the appropriate light that they required. I ended up with some really small autos that did not really, it just was not worth my time, man. It did not yield a lot. I got like 7 grams in it. Painful, man. So if you're a beginner grower, maybe try out, you know, some photoperiods instead where you can really get in there with them. Now guys, don't get me wrong, there are good reasons why beginners should try autos. They're super fast, they're resilient, you don't need a lot, like I said, no light leaks and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a really nice harvest and really looking to, you know, just get the best out of your plant for the first run that you have, maybe the autoflower may leave you disappointed at the end just because you may end up with a smaller plant and less of a yield. You know, it's just how the auto crumbles, man, but there are a lot of pros to it as well. So like I said, it's not all doom and gloom. There are a lot of pros to it as well, and that may make it the same reasons why it may not be good for a beginner grower is a reason why it may actually be good for a beginner grower, man. So like I said, it's fast, it's easy, it's discreet. You can pop it into a closet and grow. You can have it in a corner of a kitchen. You don't need a completely sealed off light area or anything like that, but it's all about what works for you, man. So like I said, there are a lot of differences when it comes to the autos and photos. There are a lot of pros and cons, and for me, I found that growing autos was not the best idea for me as a beginner grower, but there are a lot of people who may find that it's a great idea. So it's all about what works for you and your setup, man. Some of the photos may give you a little bit more flexibility than some of the autos, but depending on your setup, the autos may actually give you more flexibility than the photos. So think of it that way, man. There are a lot of different pros and cons when it comes to the autos, and a lot of people, you run them for different reasons, man. So let's all give it a try. Let me know what you think. Do you run the autos? Do you not run the autos? If you're a beginner grower, or if you were recommending to a beginner grower, would you tell them to start off with autos or photo periods, man? Let me know what you guys think, because personally, when I started off with the autos, I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot. It was like a crash course in growing plants, but I did not have the best final harvest, man. And it's all about learning. It's all about learning and being able to level up your grow. Your first harvest is never the best, but you always get better with everyone as we progress, man. So smash the like button for that, guys. Hit that bell. Let me know what you guys are smoking on. Let me know what you guys are growing. Let me know where you guys are tuned in from. And let me know what you guys think about the autoflowers, man. Are you guys fans of autos? Have you ran them? And if you ran them, did you run them when you were a beginner, or did you wait until you got a little bit more experience under your belt to give them a try, man? So drop in the comments down below and let me know. If you're a part of the ICANN VIP Bean Club fam, you'd have gotten autoflowers, photo periods, rags, feminized, all sorts of stuff sent out to you for absolutely free. So join up with the ICANN fam if you aren't already, man. And everyone who is part of the fam, you guys are getting some great stuff sent out to you this month that's coming up right now. So I'm gonna see you guys very soon, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wait, check out this video right here and this video right here, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace, fam.